Hello, beautiful. So welcome back. It is so wonderful to be in your presence and in your light today. I want to share with you all some codes from the earth. This is going to be all about being an earth guardian and being human, what that actually means in relationship to the earth. I've talked quite a bit about really honoring the elements, honoring the earth before, and I just want to share even more because this is really a huge part of my path. Ever since I was young, earth was always just like being outside, being in my backyard, anywhere where I was in connection to the wind, to the trees, to the land in any way. It was such an opening for me. It was such a path home. It was an opportunity and a permission slip to come back home to myself. And being able to, from a new conscious awareness, connect with the land and actually listen to the land and reflect upon it and see the reflection of us and nature, of nature within me, has just been such a massive point of purpose and service that I have and hold. So I just want to share with you all just a few things to keep in mind as human beings living on earth, as light workers, whatever you want to associate yourself as, a healer, a channeler, just someone that sits in ceremony and ritual, that is on this path at all, even if you're not, physically or actively devoting and dedicating to yourself and to your spirituality. Just walking on the earth is sacred. It really truly is sacred, and it's so important that we honor all of the beings, all our relations here on earth, no matter what or who it may be. So the first thing that I really want to share is that if you're ever going to any sacred sites, let's say, for example, Sedona's been really popular, Mount Shasta, there's just so many different places. Just being out in nature, going on hikes, whatever you do, being mindful of going off path. So if you're someone that likes to adventure off the path, which is something that I have always wanted to do, and I have done before, and the more that I continue to do it, the more that I am really growing my awareness of, okay, what beings are actually on this land. This land is here and is really curated and created and put together in a very specific way for all of the beautiful beings and creatures that live on it. So I'm not just talking about all of the animals and the bugs and everything, and the plants and the trees, but also beings of other dimensions that we can't physically see with our own eyes. So you could think of it as fairies, you could think of it as dragons and just other types of beings, elemental spirits that may be guarding and protecting the land and living on the land. So instead of seeing like a beautiful place and like going and running and like being loud and creating all of this, your footprints everywhere, can we be mindful and quiet and actually ask permission from the land before going off the path, before moving into an area that may feel really sacred? I truly do believe all land, all places are sacred, even though we have these sacred sites and temples and all of these places here on earth, these portals, if you will. But honestly, anywhere is a portal. And with just our consciousness, our awareness, and our attention and love and devotion to actually asking permission of the land, listening to the land, being in connection with it, it allows us to actually become in vibration of the land so that we can properly begin to navigate these areas out in nature that are wild, if you will. So really just this point is just being mindful of where you are and how you are adventuring out into nature and on your hikes and, any sacred site or portal within the earth. It's very important that we are aware because a lot of the times we'll see a lot of people going on retreats and they'll just be walking, carrying a big group of people, or people will come out and do plant medicine and not actually have this reverence and this love and this care for the land that they are on, the land that they are holding themselves in ceremony or creating just a fun, playful time for themselves. Like, this is not something for us to just use. The land is a part of us. It's a relationship that we have with it. And as human beings, we have in the past and up to this day have really created a destructive relationship, like a toxic relationship with the earth. And the earth, if you look around, like, it's always giving. She's always giving. You know, the trees are still always giving, doing exactly what they're meant to do. And yet all we do is take, and we don't necessarily honor the land and ask for permission. We never really have. And we can go all the way back to our ancestors. You can look back to indigenous people and their traditions of really honoring the land, speaking with the land, actually being friends with the wind and the fire and the earth and the waters of the land. This is huge for healing as a collective during this time. So if you are a healer or doing any type of work within the spiritual realms, it's so important that you are connected with the land that you are working on, whether you travel or not. So important. And it's so simple. It's really, really simple. It's a part of our being. We're human beings, you know, we're incarnated as human beings with this body, with this consciousness, with this mind, right? We have so much that we have access to, and we truly do gain deeper access to our gifts and our medicine and our roots when we allow ourselves to connect to the land that we are on. So, one, being really mindful wherever you are of how you are walking, the noise that you are creating. Can you begin to allow yourself to become more present to the actual vibration and frequency of the land, to actually ask permission before moving about? Two, if you are doing any type of ceremony on any type of land, if you're going to any type of retreat, even if the retreat or whoever's leading it isn't necessarily, you know, asking permission of the land, maybe they do that before. A lot of the time, facilitators will actually do that before anyone arrives. But I think it's important that everyone knows how to do this, knows how to just put their hands on the earth or do their research of the land. Its history overall, to see, okay, what has this land been through? What is really happening here? Who am I connecting with? What spirits of this land are here? And a lot of the time it's just the spirits of the elements and just the elemental beings that are living here with us. We just can't necessarily, not all of us can necessarily see them physically with our own eyes. So the last thing that I really, really want to share is that to be a guardian of the earth, to be just human, is to honor yourself. This was a big message that came through as I finished out my cacao ceremony, actually, and I was just connecting with the land a little bit deeper and really listening to Mother Earth. And a big thing was just like you tuning into and listening to your inner world is you also listening to the outer world. So it was this constant reminder of water and our reflection of water. We can look at relationships, people that we know. There's so many triggers and shadows and things that really are shown to us, like as if they were mirrors. And when we start to see the earth in that way, we start to see the seasons in that way, we start to see how present and respectful the land is according to the season that it is experiencing. So no matter where you are on the earth, the land really honors its own season. The trees, they hibernate during the winter and they begin to rise during the spring. So the more that we tune into our inner world, what is actually happening within us, women, you know, womb-bearing beings, you really do have the seasons within your womb, within your menstrual cycle, within any cycle that you experience as a woman-bearing being. So we can look at those seasons. We can really look at our own inner winter and spring and fall and summer and begin to navigate through our life with this awareness, and also just with our awareness of where we are at in our life right now. Like, this is a great question to ask yourself every now and then, especially if you feel like you're in a transitionary phase. Right now, it's really interesting. We just moved into spring here in California, and I really feel like I'm still in that like transition from winter to spring, where it's still a little cold. We've still got some rain coming here and there. There's some sunny days and there's some really cold, cloudy days. So that's kind of how I feel within my life right now and where I'm at, kind of the season that I'm in. So instead of trying to be in summer when I'm in this transitionary phase, I can be here, I can be present with this season and to honor it even more and to be with it even more. And this is only going to assist me in my own empowerment and expansion and next level phase of my life. So a huge reminder to honor the seasons within you, to honor the seasons of your life. Where you at? Can you get super honest with yourself and take responsibility for how we may be wanting to be in one place when this is the reality of what's actually going on within us? And it's not always in alignment with nature. Remembering that our seasons can shift and change within our lives. And the more that we can honor it, the more that we allow space for what the universe has for us to really come in, for the universe to begin helping us move through and move forward so much quicker, actually. So honoring yourself, honoring your inner seasons, seeing the elements, just going out in nature and seeing you within it. See how the trees react. See how everything moves. Just be still and silent with nature, with Mother Earth. And really, there are just so many codes you'll pick up on. I know it for sure. And this is for everyone, all beings, no matter what age, no matter what it is that you do in your life. It doesn't matter. You don't need to be spiritual to connect with the earth. You don't need to be anything at all. You simply are. You are a part of nature. And this is just the big message here, that returning to our natural state of being is returning to the nature that's within us. Remembering that even though we may be, believing that we're ascending and we're expanding and all of these things, at the end of the day, we are still moving through the seasons of being a human being here on earth. And the more that we honor that, the more love and acceptance that we begin to have for ourselves, and the more compassion we begin to have for others as well as compassion and love and respect for the lands that we are traveling on, that we are living on, and just rekindling that relationship. And this doesn't necessarily mean that you need to take on all of the pain that the earth has gone through. We already know this pain. We already know it. We see the effects of this pain within all of us. We see that collectively in the collective consciousness, what this, pain that we have caused the earth is doing to us. We're seeing the stress and the constant disease that it is creating within us. So instead of focusing on that, focusing on the pain, focusing on the disease, we already know this is true. We know this is true. Be honest with yourself. Allow it to be transmuted, okay? We are not here to hold it. We are here to transmute it. So being able to take that energy, to move it through and to see, okay, how can I honor you? What do you need? How can I listen even deeper? What can I do in my life? And remembering that honoring the earth and, even if you want to live a little bit more sustainably, a little bit cleaner so that you are lessening your footprint on the earth, really take your time with it. It does really take time. Like, I am still transitioning out of using certain products and really finding things that I resonate with, that I support, companies that I support, and really trying to figure out, okay, what's going to assist me in, allowing myself to have this type of lifestyle. And it really, for me, that's like believing that that's true and knowing that this is my standard and nothing less can be here. So I don't tolerate anything less than the standard, and I know that it's going to be easier and easier and easier, and everything that I use, everything that I'll do will eventually be of honor to the earth. So that's really my goal here, just remembering that you can't really cold turkey this kind of stuff. I mean, you totally could, but it really does take time and research and respect and honor and acceptance for where you're at, who you are, and where you live, and what the earth has been through as well. So honor yourself, honor the earth, respect the lands that you walk on, and be mindful of all the beings here that live with us. Be very mindful, and remember that sometimes we see these beautiful sights and we want to go, you know, be in them. Like I see all of these stones and these beautiful spots, but I'm really mindful of just those little areas where there really is this very special habitat, this special home for some animals, and I don't want to disturb that. So honoring that like it's okay, I can see it. I don't need to necessarily be inside of all of the little cute places and everything like that, right? Honor that for sure. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you guys want to know more. I'm definitely going to be filming more videos talking about the land and just my own reflections and what I've seen in reflections to the elements and relationship to the elements. This has been huge for the past couple years for me, and it just continues to grow. Like, I'm always learning. I'm literally always learning and remembering by just being out here with the earth. So I hope that this helps you. I'm sending you so much love. Make sure you like and subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you all in another video.